Today we are going to learn about how authors plan the endings to their stories. We all know the story of Little Red Riding Hood, don't we? Listen to me retell this favorite story of ours. Think about if you love the retell I do, or if I could have done a better job. Here I go. Little Red Riding Hood went to visit her grandmother, and even though her mother told her to go straight there, she stopped in the meadow to pick flowers and talk to the big bad wolf. And then she got to her grandmother's house. The end. What could I have done better? What did I leave out of the story? Well, I forgot the ending. Endings matter. They matter to the stories we read and to the ones we write. Endings are not just added to finish up the story, but to teach the reader and wrap up the story. Today, I want to teach you that readers think carefully at the end of a book, just as they do at the start. Readers think, why did the author choose to end the story this way? Is there an important lesson for me to learn? Let's take a look at the ending to Alone in Frog and Toad. We read this story last week and we learned that Frog wanted to be alone and Toad looked everywhere for him. Toad finally found Frog at a river and sitting on a rock by himself. He figured out a way to get to him, and the turtle tried to tell him that Frog wanted to be alone, so just to leave him alone. At the end, it talks about Frog explaining that he just wanted to be alone, but now that Toad was there, he was happy to be with him too, even if that meant eating wet sandwiches. That is how the author Arnold Lobel ended the story. But now I have to think, why? What lesson does he want us to learn? Think about that for a minute. What lesson do you think that the author was trying to get the reader to learn? Listen to see if I had the same thought as you. Maybe the author wrote the ending this way to teach us that even when you like to be alone, when your friend chucks up on you, it's still nice to spend time together. Or another lesson could be that even though lunch was spoiled, being with your friend is more important. So many lessons. What's important, though, is to consider why the author ended it the way he did. Let's take a look at another story. We also read the story The Kite. In the story, we learned that Frog and Toad went to fly a kite, and they kept trying even though the kite wouldn't fly. The robins kept telling them that it wouldn't work and that they should give up. Toad kept trying to give up, but Frog would not let him. Frog kept giving Toad things to try to make the kite fly, and eventually he got it to work, even though the birds kept telling them that it wouldn't work. At the end, the robins could not fly as high as the kite. Frog and Toad sat and watched their kite. It seemed to be flying way up at the top of the sky. They learned that if they tried everything else, they needed to try one more thing just to get it to work. Why did the author choose to end the story this way? Is there an important lesson for us to learn? Maybe the author wanted us to learn that we shouldn't give up even when things are hard and other people tell us we can't. We should try and do our best and work hard to get it to happen. So today, you are going to try this. First, you're going to think about how the book ends. Then you're going to think about why the author chose to end the book this way and what lesson they wanted you to learn. Don't forget, don't just name the ending. Think about why the author ended the story this way and what they want you to learn. So today we talked about how readers think carefully at the end of the book and how that is just as important as the beginning of the book. This helps us think about the whole story and what the author may have wanted the reader to think about. Today you're going to go back to any of the books that you've been reading lately, reread the endings and think about them, or you can continue in a current book that you're reading, and when you get to the ending, you're going to do this kind of work there. I can't wait to see what kind of books you're reading and how the ending goes, and you telling us what type of lesson you can learn and why the author chose to end the story this way. Good luck!